San Francisco, 1976. A theater marquee flickers over a street that smells like fog and film reels. A young woman from a rural Ohio farm walks through that door for the first time, and she has no idea she's about to become one of the most prolific figures in an entire era of American independent cinema. Decades later, almost no one outside the industry will remember her name. This is the story of Sharon Kane, dancer, actress, director, composer. Before we're done, you'll understand why she and one other performer are remembered as the two most prolific names of their generation, appearing in over 1,000 productions combined. But her career carried a private loss too, one she rarely spoke about publicly, and it's the key to understanding everything that came after her peak. We'll get there. First, the beginning. The mid-70s were a strange window in American film history. For a brief, unrepeatable stretch, independent, adult-oriented cinema played in real theaters to real box office numbers alongside mainstream releases. San Francisco became its unofficial capital, a city of converted theaters and restless young filmmakers rewriting the rules of commercial film. Into that world, a young woman from the Midwest was about to arrive with nothing but her own reinvention. She was born Sharon Louise Kane on 24 February 1956, raised on a small Ohio farm by her mother, an artist, and her grandparents. For a while, her path looked almost aggressively ordinary. She worked briefly as a secretary for the Salvation Army. Therefore, when she left Ohio for San Francisco in the mid-70s, it wasn't part of any grand plan. She simply needed somewhere else to be. She found work as a dancer at a theater run by director Alex de Renzi, one of the era's defining filmmakers. It was a foothold, but it placed her, unknowingly, one step from the role that would change her life. Before we continue, how many careers do you think started this way, on instinct rather than ambition? Tell us in the comments, because Sharon's next move wasn't a choice she made. It was an offer she didn't see coming. In 1978, de Renzi cast her in Pretty Peaches, her feature debut. Therefore, what began as a stage job became a screen career almost overnight. And it didn't stop at one film. Over the next 2 decades, as the industry itself transformed from film to videotape to shot-on-video production, Sharon adapted every single time, building one of the longest, most versatile careers of her generation. But here's what most retrospectives never mention. Sharon wasn't only in front of the camera. She worked as a set designer, a makeup artist, an art director, and eventually a composer, scoring music for productions including The Hills Have Eyes and Idle in the Sky. In 1991, she directed her own feature, Stairway to Paradise, a production notable enough to be documented in the book Coming Attractions. And in 1981, she began a relationship with musician Michael Bruce of Alice Cooper, a relationship that lasted until his death. It's a loss she carried quietly, long after the cameras stopped rolling, and it's the human cost behind a career that, from the outside, looked unstoppable. That range, performer, designer, composer, director, is exactly why Sharon Kane endured in an industry known for short careers. She and her closest peer, Sharon Mitchell, are remembered as two of its most defining figures, a status formalized when both were inducted into the AVN and XRCO Halls of Fame. It's a rare kind of institutional recognition, earned inside an industry that history has too often chosen to erase rather than examine. Eventually, Sharon stepped away first from performing, later from the industry altogether. Today, she lives quietly in a remote rural setting, a striking bookend to a life that began on a different kind of farm entirely. She never set out to define an era. She simply kept working, kept adapting, kept building one production, one loss, one reinvention at a time. And in doing so, she became one of the most complete records we have of that entire lost period of American film. If this story pulled back the curtain for you, there's another remarkable icon from that same golden age whose journey is just as unforgettable. Sika, the Platinum Princess, a performer whose charisma, longevity, and influence helped redefine an entire era of independent cinema. Click that video next and subscribe to Retro Cinema History and Icon Biographies for more untold stories from the era film history nearly forgot.